He was living in another country. He saw these airplanes flying overhead. And he said, one day, one day, one day. Let me ask you a question. When is your one day going to be one day? To get the RVP. And he said, one day. And he finally got to America, landed in the Baltimore area. And he said, right there, it's a little bit better where I came from, but it's not that better. And he said, I have to make it better. He started working at Applebee's. I mean, he discovered that he can make more money talking than flipping burgers. Lord have mercy. And he said, you mean I can make this kind of money doing what? Talking people? I had never been to business school, but I had the attitude to want more, and I got the grit in me. Oh, I love that part. And that's why I just love this man. He started off with the Whip group. Dwight, listen to this, Mr. Dwight. And he started with the Whip, and the young people started taking off. I remember going to the conventions. He had 20, 30 people around him. I didn't know who that was in the middle. I thought he was a rock star. Well, he was, but I thought, and the group started growing. He started getting all these fancy cars and living the life of luxury, penthouses, and all those people started staying with him. And I followed him all the way. And all of a sudden, he got to the point where he got a little bit big, and all of a sudden they start taking from him. And then he went all the way back from the penthouse to the basement, and then putting stuff in his mom's closet, living downstairs. And he said, "Okay, I'm gonna build it the right way, Mr. Thomas. I'm gonna go back and do it the right way. That way, when I build it this time, it's gonna be strong as King Kong." And he put his head down and went to work and built it back, and it will never go back down to where it was before, because there's a lesson there. So stay humble. Without further ado, can we give a warm welcome to the month of February for every Wednesday, the one and only, the great Wolfpack leader, the one regional vice president, Mr. Shakeel Cooper.
Thank you for all of those kind words. It's always good to be back on here. It's always exciting, because I remember when we first started doing this. It seemed like 4 years ago now, So it's like this is like one of the longest things I've ever done outside of doing ACN consistently. But it's always good to get on a call. I'm excited to always share my story and just insights on people still have success in the business for 11 years. So this is my 11th year doing ACN, when most people couldn't even think 6 months down the line. But to think that, I got started in something almost 11 years ago that's still paying me to this day it's still mind blowing, because most people are still paying for things that they purchased 11 years ago. So for me, it just made a lot of sense. And I can share the opportunity from a standpoint of a person that's consistently earned of income in this opportunity for many, many weeks, hundreds of weeks. And it's because of a system that's been put in place. But today, my topic is basically, if you're taking notes, is the top 10 reasons on why branding yourself in business is important for success. And I'm going to explain to you why branding yourself in business is very important for your success, because like Mr. Thomas did say, he saw me basically had like a celebrity effect. So I basically kind of became a celebrity inside of the business. And a lot of people might say, those things like that don't matter, but it actually does matter, because when you think about celebrities, what do they have? Influence. So once I created that celebrity, whatever you want to call it, and got that celebrity effect, I started having influence where people just wanted to get signed up in a business just to be involved in whatever we was doing. They didn't matter how much money could be made. They just wanted to be around the environment. So having that was very, very important for me, because once I did that, business kind of took over, because what it starts to do is you become different than everybody else. Some people like it, some people didn't, but I used it to my advantage to just make myself different in business, right? So effective branding is basically what sets you apart. What we was doing was we started doing what's called young money events. It was just different events that wasn't really happening in ACN. When I first got started in ACN, there wasn't a lot of young people doing the business. And then after a few years, when you went to convention, it was at least 80% young people. So once I noticed that, I'm like, wow. And people always came up saying, man, I see you from social media. I see you from social media. It's like, that's another thing. If you're not using social media to brand yourself as an entrepreneur, free marketing, free everything, what are you doing? For the past Well, I've been in social media since I was like forever, since MySpace. I've always used social media to my advantage. And the reason why, because it's a free platform that people use for things that's not making them money. I've made so much money off of using social media because guess what? I don't got to be around people every single day. All I have to do is market myself in a way that people feel inspired. People want to purchase whatever I'm doing. People want to be around me. You basically can become whoever you want to become. But more importantly, you can have a business, you have a product that you can go from making zero sales to making maybe 5 figures in a month in sales just because of the network that you've been able to build by utilizing social media. You also build trust and credibility. And the reason why trust and credibility is important is because people they want to do business with people that they love. They want to do business with people that they trust because if there's no trust, then there's nothing in business. So you want to understand that the only way to build trust is with consistency. You got to be consistent. Whatever you're doing, you got to be consistent because you don't know who is sitting around right now just waiting to see if you're going to give up on the opportunity. And the reason why, because most people that normally start something, they never finish. So if you're having problems with certain people that you feel as though they're A players, but they haven't signed up in your business yet, the reason why they probably haven't signed up in the business yet because they know that 9 times out of 10, you might not be here 6 months from now in the business. Most people normally give up. So the only way to get those type of people where your business is going to go to another level is by sticking around, but more importantly, not just sticking around the business, but actually doing the business and start generating some type of income. Because I don't care if a person got paid $100 for the past 10 years every single month consistently. To me, I would take that. Why? Because it's consistent. But imagine making a few $1,000s every single month or every single week, depending on how big you build your business. But one thing I learned about Asian is that people make money in a company. If you're not making money, it's really because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So there's people at the top of the company that the amount of money and lifestyle that they have, people don't really believe that it's possible because not everyone is willing to go through the work. But for me telling you, the company work if you work it. They've been around for 30 years. And you don't got to call nobody to ask them, hey, where's my check? If you do the work, you're going to get paid. There's no stress involved as far as, doing something that you don't want to do. Just imagine building a business one day that you can't stop it if you wanted to. It just grows without you. It's people signing up every single day, new customers sign up every single day, but it all started with you. So for me, sometimes I'm still mind blown every time I log into my back office, like, people are signing up every single day. People are signing up services every single day. I don't know them, probably never going to meet them, probably never going to talk to them. But guess what? They're still going to be going out there building a business. But because I got started and I positioned myself, I'm able to reap the benefits from everything that happens inside of my organization. Value perception. Think about it, right? When you market yourself the right way, when you brand yourself the right way, look at a store like Louis Vuitton and then look at a store like, I don't know, let's say like a H&M. You know, we can agree that those same items probably come from the same factory in China, but it's just the quality. See, when people understand that they think they're paying for more value, they're willing to pay whatever it is to go to the top with you. See, I just talked to my business partner yesterday about RVP, and she's been involved for 10 years. So you want to get people that's been involved in the business throughout the journey with you because they've been through it all. The only different factor is that when they got started early, they positioned themselves in a position where everything that's going to continue to happen in our organization, they're not going to get a percentage of it. See, you want people that's been involved in the business. Both of my RVPs been involved in the company for 10 years. If you understand how the compensation plan works, that's the hardest part for the average person to do, trying to get to the top of the company. So most people try to focus on doing the easy things first. I was focused on doing the hardest things. And when I did that, now I'm positioned for the long run. My people are still actively out there recruiting people. They're still actively out there acquiring customers, hosting events, going to events, speaking in front of the stage. That's a business. That's what you want. Because if you're the only person that's doing all of this, then you just got a high paying job. We got involved in network marketing, ACN, to be able to do what? Create leverage income, to be able to duplicate yourself. Because the business is only one of you, but imagine having thousands of you. So again, emotional connection. When you help people, there's an emotional connection. When you truly actually pour into people, and the only way to pour into people is by doing what? Pouring into yourself. So you want to be able to pour into your people because throughout their journey, life is going to happen. They're going to go through tough times. And most of the time, when people go through tough times, they give up. So you're going to have to be that person where you can have that emotional connection with your peoples so that they also stick around for the long term. And again, market positioning. If they got started early with you in a certain marketplace, they're going to override the marketplace. So you always want to talk to people about being the first to override a marketplace, because guess what? Your neighborhood can be a marketplace. Your zip code can be a marketplace. Your city can be a marketplace. Just focus on a target marketplace, because when I came to Houston, that's been my marketplace. Is building my name in Houston to the point that no matter what I do, people are going to do business with me. Not one business, two business. They're going to do anything with me because I've branded myself in a target marketplace. And I'm not even from here. I did it in Baltimore. I'm not from Baltimore. So I know how to go into new marketplaces and market myself, build myself up, and use that to my advantage to be able to do business with people. Because you get paid for the value that you bring to the marketplace. If you have no value, you're not going to get paid anything. Most people want a lot of money, but they have no value. I'm not telling you that you're not a valuable person, but you don't have value in the things that's going to help you get to where you need to go. Because if you had it, then you would already be there. So if you want to network with people, bring value to them. Bring value to yourself first. You also want to talk about expanding opportunities. You always want to talk about going out there and taking over a marketplace. And if you're not talking like that, then how can people dream? People got to want to be a part of something big. So when I came to Houston, I told everyone, I'm taking over Houston. And guess what I did? I did the same thing. And the only reason why, because I had everyone mindset was just we taking over, we taking over, we taking over. When we went to events, our goals was to have all of the seats. We used to fight for seats. Some of y'all don't even know what it feels like to fight for seats for your team. It's a wonderful feeling back in the day because we had so many people who wanted our people to sit in the front. And that's what's been able to grant me and my organization the success for the past almost 11 years consistently. See, it's all about consistency, because if you're not consistent, then people are not going to follow you for the long run. And with that, what it happens is that you start to attract talent. Think of like, I don't watch too much football, but if you look at someone like Deion Sanders, right? Every football team he went to, guess what happened? He now had the number one kids in high school or college. They wanted to get drafted and come play for his team. Why? Because talent, his sons, they're like the number one team in the entire college football. Just the organization. Just think about it. If you play football, why wouldn't you not want to play for the Colorado? If I play football, I would want to play with them. Think about when Kobe Bryant was around. Everyone wanted to play for the Lakers. When Michael Jordan was around, everyone wanted to play for the Chicago Bulls. Why? Because talent attract talent. I'm gonna repeat it one more time. Talent attract talent. So if you want to attract talented people, you gotta have a talent yourself. So it all starts with us. It always goes back to us, right? Long-term growth and sustainability. And I'm gonna end with this: long-term growth and sustainability. So investing in branding lays the foundation for long-term growth and sustainability by providing a solid framework for future business endeavors. And basically, when the market is changing, you're able to adapt, because we can agree that if you do something for 10 years, you're going to see that things change. The economy change. Everything is always changing. Everything is in motion, right? So you got to think long term. So don't think about how much money can I make in a year. Think about how much money can I be making in 20 years from now. What if you stuck with the business for 20 years and build it brick by brick? What if you do it for 10 years? But I can tell you that if you just do it, it works. But it only works if you work it. If you don't work it, it's not going to work. So that's one thing I love about ACN is that, listen, if you do what they tell you to do, you're going to get paid. Everyone's not complaining. The only people that's not complaining is the people that's not in position to reap the benefits of the fruits of their labor. But it starts with that consistency work that's put in every single day. And the people that's at the top didn't land there. It took a lot of work. Even though we make it sound like it's easy, doing anything for a long period of time, no matter what it is, it's not easy. Most people won't even drink water every single day for the next 365 days. So it can be something as simple as that most people can't do consistency. So the fact that there's people at the top that's been there for a long period of time and they're still there is because guess what? The system is working. The system always works. So when the system is working, all you got to do is just do what the system tells you to do, and you will have success. It's not simple, but you got to go out there, brand yourself, become a big deal. Because when you become a big deal, you can now put on other people to become big deals. And then the ultimate goal is to have a lot of people that's a part of your organization that's big deals. So it's like a tree, it's a root. It's like you just want a whole lot of people, just having success. So the business is simple, but it first starts off with you. You got to be the deal. You got to be the man. You got to be the woman. You got to be that person that people want to follow. People want to be like. People are motivated. If you're not motivating people, if you're not inspiring people, then what are you doing? People don't care about how much money you make. People want to be inspired. They want to see that, man, you went from this to this. So anyone that go to my Instagram, I have it from when I first started ACN, like my first month, all the way to now. They see 11 years of growth. I didn't land here. I've been hustling, grinding every single day for at least 14, 15 years. But I make it look easy because I don't complain about my situation. I just keep going, keep building, because I know that eventually, if I build that system, it's going to run. And it's an autopilot for the rest of my life. But you got to build it right. If you don't build it right, it's not going to last long term. So again, Mr. Thomas, I want to pass the call back to you.